This is a real email that Donald Trump just sent. The subject reads, "They're laughing at the suckers that we are!" exclamation point. When you open the email, it is a photo of Donald Trump pointing at a direction, I assume in the direction of his MAGA supporters. Yes, Donald Trump, you are the laughingstock of the entire world. Our enemies are laughing at how weak you've made the United States. Our allies who you've pushed away are both humiliated by what the United States has become under you, and they are horrified at the weakness that you are demonstrating and the implications there too. Donald Trump then sent an email where he was whining about being sued. "I'm being sued," is what the subject line reads. He goes, "Red alert, my historic DOGE initiative is being sued by deranged radical leftists." Actually, Donald, your regime filed an emergency petition yesterday with the Supreme Court to try to keep all of DOGE's activities secret, citing executive immunities and privileges, saying that we, the people, should not get Freedom of Information Act requests processed to know what the hell DOGE did with the federal agencies that we rely on for essential services. Oh, I thought this was going to be the most transparent thing ever. No, it is actually added to the federal deficit. It hasn't cut anything. Federal spending is up right now. Oh, and by the way, this talk that Elon Musk is taking a back seat right now. He's focused on other things. Nope. Y'all are just saying that. It's another fraud that you are all committing to try to lower his profile because his companies are completely trash right now. But he was there at all of those meetings. He was there with you in the Middle East with the $400 billion gold-plated jet that the United States was bribed by Qatar and accepted officially by the Pentagon yesterday. He was there in the Middle East with you. He was there yesterday when you were with the president of South Africa and you made the president of South Africa, Ramaphosa, watch right-wing white supremacist brain rot conspiracy trash literally showing apartheid flags and claiming that there are burial sites for a mass genocide, which is not what that image actually was. It's some far right-wing white supremacist crazy stuff that you were showing the president of South Africa. He's like, what are you showing me? And he had to even say to you, "I'm sorry that," and he was kind of mocking you too, "I'm sorry that we can't get you a private jet. I'm sorry we can't provide for you the private jet that they can in the Middle East." Here, play this clip.
"I'm sorry, I don't have a plane to give you."
I wish you did. I take it. I would take it. If your country offered the United States Air Force a plane, I would take it.
Okay.
Now, the rest of the world is looking at this and saying, America is over. That's how the international community sees this. Xi Jinping in China is all smiles right now, and he's trying to project China as a stabilizing force. He's been mocking the United States all week, putting out statements like, "We hope the United States will just calm down a little bit and act more stable." There's a flight away from the dollar, a flight away from United States treasuries. We just had a treasury bond auction, and they usually do well. Completely trash. The 30-year treasury yields going up, that's a bad sign when the 30-year treasury yields increase like that. The government's going to have to pay more interest on its debt because less people actually want to hold on to the notes. That's why you don't want a high treasury yield. The 20 and 30 years, it's supposed to be a lower amount because you're supposed to have a stable government. They hit 5.07% right now, which is kind of in catastrophic territory or just about to be in catastrophic territory. So all of this is going on. Here's what Donald Trump posted. He posted that he wants to take Fannie and Freddie Mac private. He said go public, but he really means basically privatize it and remove it from the federal government. I'm giving very serious consideration to bringing Fannie and Freddie Mac public. I will be speaking with the Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and Secretary of Commerce Howard Lutnick and the Director of the Federal Housing Finance Agency, William Pult, among others, and we'll be making a decision in the near future. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are doing very well, throwing off a lot of cash, and the time would seem to be right. Stay tuned. Trump is going to destroy housing, and we're going to have another catastrophic event in the housing sector. I think Carson Foley puts it succinctly here when he says, this confuses me. I would use the word disturbs, but you could use the word confusing. Privatize Fannie and Freddie. Rates shoot up because there's no government backstop. Home prices collapse because there's no demand because of the rates. Affordability is the exact same. I would say affordability is much less affordable now. I mean, interest rates are above 7% for a mortgage. So asset values go down, leverage costs go up, and no one can buy a house. Can someone explain how this helps anyone? You know, all this helps Donald Trump and his billionaire friends. They don't give a crap about any of this. Cruelty is the point. And yesterday, another disastrous day on Wall Street. The Dow was down almost 2%. The NASDAQ was down 1.5 points, basically. The S&P, 1.6%. The volatility I've said of this market resembles a Trump meme coin, where basically you have MAGA Republican Congress members insider trading, Trump's cronies insider trading, and we, the people, are getting absolutely trashed and screwed. All of this was going on yesterday. A federal judge in Massachusetts also found that the Trump regime violated a court order. We're likely headed towards criminal contempt from this Massachusetts federal judge when the Trump regime deported a Burmese national from the United States to South Sudan. That's one of the areas, in addition to El Salvador, they're sending people to South Sudan while there are injunctions in place. Cruelty is the point. Without due process, in violation of the Supreme Court order, in violation of federal injunctions. I talked about that Trump disastrous press conference with South African President Ramaphosa. By the way, go back and watch the video I did. I did a whole video on this disastrous press conference yesterday. So President Ramaphosa of South Africa also brought with him the agriculture ministers and golfers. He brought white people with him. Let me just say what it was. He brought white Afrikaner people with him, and you had the white agriculture minister there. And Ramaphosa was like, ask him. There's no genocide against white farmers. There is crime. People recognize that South Africa has a crime problem, and the crime is disproportionately or significantly, I'm not sure disproportionately, it impacts farmers. But there are white farmers in South Africa. There are black farmers. In some areas, the deaths of black farmers are more than the deaths of white farmers. But there isn't a government genocide taking place in South Africa that Trump claims exists, where Trump's playing all of these videos that are just these BS, like white supremacist conspiracy theory stuff. And Ramaphosa's watching it and like, what? Where is this? What is this? The white agriculture ministers watching this like, you don't know what you're talking about. And Trump starts yelling and railing at the NBC reporter in the room. Here, watch this.
Mr. President, the Pentagon announced that it would be accepting a Qatari jet to be used as Air Force One.
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
You know, you gotta get out of here. What does this have to do with the Qatari jet? They're giving the United States Air Force a jet, okay? And it's a great thing. We're talking about a lot of other things. It's NBC trying to get off the subject of what you just saw. You are a real, you're a terrible reporter. Number one, you don't have what it takes to be a reporter. You're not smart enough. But for you to go into a subject about a jet that was given to the United States Air Force, which is a very nice thing. They also gave $5.1 trillion worth of investment in addition to the jet. Go back. You ought to go back to your studio at NBC because Brian Roberts and the people that run that place, they ought to be investigated. They are so terrible the way you run that network, and you're a disgrace. No more questions from you. Go ahead. Go ahead, talk about that. His name is Peter something. He's a terrible reporter. Quiet. Let's go.
A dog bit Laura Ingraham's hand. Her dog bit her. That's what she was talking about yesterday. Her dog bit her. Dogs know. I'm not even sure why I'm even talking about that, but her dog bit her. And she wanted everybody to know that her dog bit her. Dogs know. Let's talk about this budget scam quickly as well. I think Moskowitz puts it succinctly. The GOP's big, beautiful bill repeals a tax on gun silencers that's been on the books for over 90 years. So while House Republicans are driving up the cost of healthcare, kicking off people from Medicaid, 13 million people will lose their Medicaid. People will lose Medicare as well. Medicare is on the chopping block. People under the Affordable Care Act are going to lose their health care as well under this disastrous bill. SNAP is going to be cut. Supplemental Nutrition Assistant, rental assistance, HUD's rental assistance programs are going to be completely gut so the billionaires can get their tax cuts. But Moskowitz, it's not only that it is a repeal on gun silence taxes. Inserted in the budget bill was that there would no longer be regulations that you have to register silencers with the ATF. So one of the things that clinched this for the MAGA Republicans is that no regulations on silencers, which has been around for 90 years. I mean, how utterly pathetic than that. And of course, Donald Trump finished his disastrous Oval Office press conference with President Ramaphosa by whining about the fact that Russia is not a part of the G7 and it's not the G8 anymore. Play this clip.
And are you preparing to come?
So without the United States, the G20, just like the G7, used to be the G8, but brilliantly they threw Russia out. It would have been a lot better if Russia was in. You know, a lot of people would say, oh, that sounded, because if Russia was in, you probably wouldn't have this war. And if you had a different president, you wouldn't have the war either.
You don't get much more despicable than that, folks. I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. Folks, we have to keep on growing the resistance and this opposition. We need you to subscribe to the MeidasTouch channel right now. Also, check out MeidasPlus.com. Thanks for watching.
Love this video? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram @MeidasTouch and help us blow past 1 million followers.